Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. I already got a thumbs down. I already got a thumbs down. How's that even possible? I haven't even said anything crazy yet. I mean, it's going to be in a moment, but how did I get a thumbs down already? Good gracious. Grace and peace, everybody. Hopefully you're having a great day. You saw the thumbnail? You saw the title? We're back. So after I got done with the live stream from earlier this morning, a good friend of the channel, the Independent Mail, sent me a article about women that support Fani Willis. Oh my gosh. I'm like, what in the world am I seeing? So apparently, and I'll go through it in a moment, but before we get too far afield, I really do appreciate you all taking the time to stop by, checking out what we're talking about, all that kind of good jazz. Apparently, the Judge McAfee, has not made a decision as of yet, so today is gone. So it is going to have to be tomorrow, or I guess it'll carry it into next week, but I think it's going to probably be Friday. I see no reason for him to carry it off into the next week. So that will be tomorrow's going to be wild. Tomorrow's going to be wild because I'm assuming, I'm kind of hoping rather, that it's, early afternoon rather than late evening. But who knows? What if he started off tomorrow at 9 o'clock and just dropped it? And imagine the shenanigans that would happen because of that. That would be wild. That would be wild. But I think it's going to probably be in the afternoon. Somebody said in an earlier live stream, like 2 o'clock. I can kind of see that. But no matter what, hopefully I'll have an opportunity to jump on with some other YouTubers and we're going to just talk about it, kind of maybe unpack the decision, hear what other people have to say, and of course what you have to say as commenters. So tonight I have a quick article I want to go over, kind of showing the problem that I see in the highly melanated community, aka the Black community. And then I just want to hear what y'all think about it and where are you all as it relates to this trial? What are you thinking is going to happen? Are you bothered because he waited this long? Do you think Fani's going to be disqualified? Do you think what'll happen to the case in general? Whatever. So I'm looking forward to hearing all that from you all. Let me pull in the comments. And the comments are here. Independent Mail is in the building. There he is right there. Grace and peace. There he is. Thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate it. And this should be a good conversation. Thank you so much. If you get an opportunity, can you drop your link in the description? I mean, in the chat, Independent Mail, so we can make sure we go check you out. Yes, good, high quality content. He makes some great shorts. And good brother, good guy. And I really think you all would benefit from checking out his channel. So go check it out. If you drop your link in the description, if you drop your link in the chat, Independent Mail, I'll make sure that we keep, we check you out and holla at you. Day, what's going on, man? Good afternoon to you as well, friend. All right, let me pull this back up on the side. All right, I promise you I'm getting better with this eCam thing. I promise you I am getting better. I am. It's just a big change if you're used to using a particular program, and then this one is so customizable. So, Shar, how are you, Sister Grace and Peace? Good to see you. Good to see y'all so much. I appreciate you because you all hung in there with me earlier today, and I went and ran some errands. Of course, picked my kiddos up from school, stopped by the studio to do a project very quickly, and we're back. So I appreciate you all so much for taking the time to hang out with me. So before we get too far afield, I want to talk about something related to the article that we're going to read. And I want to point out something. And whether you're a Christian or you're not, this is a Christian content creator. And I want you to see why I approach these situations like I do. So I want to pull in this article, not an article, the scriptures real quick. So we're going to look at Romans chapter 1. And I tell people all the time, the headings of the passages are not inspired by God the Holy Spirit, but they are very helpful. Okay. And so what I want you to do is I just want you to read that. I'm going to read this and I want you to see there's a section I really want you to focus on because that's what we're going to. What did you just do, Jason? There's a section I want you to focus on because we are going to focus on that for our discussion tonight on this article. And I'm going to filibuster because I just clicked something with my, what's this called? The magic mouse pad thing. And I exited out of the Romans chapter 1. Go figure. Go figure. Thank y'all so much for hanging in there with me, though. I think I got it right now. All right. It is always something. All right. A lot of the time you can get a lot from just the just the heading. But I'm gonna read through this real quickly, and I just want you to hear it. And then I'm gonna point out a passage that we're gonna be focusing on as we read through this article about these women that support Fani Willis. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his internal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made, so they are without excuse. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. And their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of God, the glory of the immortal God, for images resembling mortal animals and birds and animals and creeping things. Therefore, God gave them over to their lust of their hearts and to impurity, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and worship and serve the Creator rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this reason, he gave them over to dishonorable passions, for their women exchanged the natural relations for those that are contrary to nature, and men likewise gave up the natural relations with women and were consumed with passion for one another, men committing shameless acts with men and receiving in themselves the due penalty of their error. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them over to a debased mind to do what ought not to be done. They were filled with all manners of unrighteousness, evil, covetousness, malice. They were full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness. They are gossips and slanders, haters of God, insolent, haughty, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, foolish, faithless, heartless, ruthless. They know, though they know God's righteous decrees that those who practice such things deserve to die, they not only do them, but give approval to those who practice them. All right, Jason, what in the world? Where were you going with that? I'm glad you asked. Thank you so much. We see real clear here, and the apostle makes it very clear that there's a whole list of sins that we see just kind of becoming more and more and more and more prevalent in society. And not only are people performing those things, but they're giving hearty approval to those who do. Here's the article I want you to look at today. This article reads as follows, and I need to center it so you can see it. Let's make that a little better because reasons. All right. Black women call for the end to the DA Fani Willis witch hunt. My volume's too low. I hope not. Okay. The DA Fani witch hunt. Atlanta, March 11th, so that was a couple days ago. Over 100 women have signed. We'll move Jason out of the way for a second. There we go. Over 100 women have signed onto a statement to support the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Signers include Shirley Franklin, who's a former mayor here in Atlanta, and civil rights leader Helen Butler. The statement on doggone, I don't know, doggonevillage.com reads as follows. And when I tried to click on it, it looked like a spam a spam site. So I didn't, but this article, I'll drop the link right here from a PRS Wire. That was better. But when I clicked on the other one, it went crazy. So here you go. I'll drop that in the link for you as well. All right. Listen to this and just tell me, are these women not giving hearty approval to the sin that is Fani Willis's and Nathan's for that matter? But let's continue. We, the undersigned women, fully support Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Full stop. What do you support her in? What do you support her in? Just a question. Let's go. And call for an immediate end to the unwarranted investigations into her personal life. Is everything that we're talking about her personal life? Just wondering, just asking a question. When she hires a contractor, is that a personal matter? It is not. When she writes a contract and provides services to somebody provides services to Fulton County, is that a personal matter? It is not. Now, if the contract is with her boyfriend, is that now a personal matter because it's her boyfriend? Let us continue. Fani Willis and called for an immediate end to this unwarranted investigation into her personal life as it bears no relevance in her professional responsibilities. But really, are you trying to tell me that none of that, like none of her behavior has any weight on her professional ability? So you sat there and watched her in the witness stand, and you felt like, wow, that is a perfect example of the professionalism and decorum that we would expect from a district attorney. I'm only asking a question. I'm only wondering. But let us continue so we can all wonder together. And this is from the article, though. Listen to what they said next. When Black women ascend to positions where their voices can be heard, their presence seen, and their power felt, it often unsettles certain individuals in this country. Is that real? I'm just wondering, is that a real reality? That is this a matter of Fanny ascending to a position of power where her voice can be heard and her presence seen and power felt? Is that why she's under investigation? Because people are scared of ooh, is that it? Is that what's going on? I don't think so. We're currently witnessing a concentrated effort to scrutinize and attack Black women. I'm sorry, of power, finding any issue or flaw or matter how small, no, I'm sorry, no matter how small, to use against them. Let me just ask you, do you honestly want me to believe that every woman is dealing with the exact same thing that Fanny's dealing with? I really hope you're not trying to say that. Are you really trying to say, do you really want me to disconnect my mental faculties and believe that foolishness, that stir fried, unadulterated GMO foolishness? Is that what you want me to believe? Shirley Franklin, shame on you that you put your name on this. In Charles M. Blow's New York Times column, The Persecution of Harvard's Claudette Gay, what does that have to do with Fanny? What does Claudette Gay have to do with Fani Willis? I'm only asking a question. But let's continue. He refers to the phenomenon as the Wonder Woman requirement, the relentless pursuit of the slightest imperfections to prosecute or rather persecute Black women who rise to high positions. Is that what we're talking about? Because and you know we're not talking about that, because if you flip this argument on its head and maybe change the races, change the genders, this article would never have been even printed. It would never have been published if anybody else was saying this. Would you say this about Harvey Weinstein? Would you say this about any other man that has been caught up in some kind of sexual perversion? Would you say that? Then why in the world would you assume that all Black women support this unadulterated craziness? But let us continue. We knew that the first Black woman to become a district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, would face challenges, especially when prosecuting powerful men. Powerful men. We simply request that DA Fani Willis be afforded the same dignity and respect as her peers, or merely treated with the same level of respect as previously shown to her. You mean Paul Howard, who got booted out because he was having affairs with women in his office, the one that Fani Willis said that Fulton County deserved a DA that wasn't going to sleep with his employees? That one that got that kind of honor? I'm just making sure I understand it correctly, because I don't know how this works. Bra, shown to her. There was no scrutiny of her personal life when she prosecuted and locked up Black teachers, or when she indicted Black gang members. Let's not alter the standards just because she's prosecuting, or rather pursuing, wealthy, politically involved men. But they did, though. You do realize, when, if you're not familiar, she's referring to the Atlanta public schools teaching scandal that happened. Oh my gosh, that has to have been 11 years, maybe even 10 years ago. I don't even think my it, yeah, I have no idea how long it was. It was a long time ago. If you look it up, it was a cheating scandal with standardized testing. But let me ask a question. Did you hire a special prosecutor that you were sleeping with back then, Fanny? I don't think you did. I don't know if when you were prosecuting black gang members, I don't think I do think it's kind of interesting that she kept saying black because there were people, there were white teachers that got caught up in that as well. There were more black though, let's be honest. There were more black for sure. I worked in Atlanta Public, formerly worked in Atlanta Public, and I knew a lot of teachers that were involved in that. So yeah, there were teachers and they were highly melanated. No lie detected there whatsoever. But let us continue. Uh, Political involved men remove the unfair burdens placed on black women and stop subjecting us to higher standards than others. We are not Wonder Woman. Who said that you were? I would love to know who said that. Just because this guy said it in an article about Claudette Gay, Harvard's former president, what does that mean? Like, just you can't use anecdotals like that and expect that they apply to everybody. That's silly. And I think these people know that. And let us continue. Black women have endured centuries of oppression, from slavery and Jim Crow to various forms of bias. We've been the backbones of the fight for civil rights and women's rights. We've shouldered the burden of holding families together amidst the fallout from a welfare system that divided us, to scourge of drugs and mass incarcerations that took our fathers, husbands, sons away. We continue the tireless battle against police brutality, inequality, and voter suppression. Despite these challenges, Black women persist to pursue education and have broken barriers to excel in all sectors of the professional world. Okay, cool. Appreciate it. Thank you for telling us. It's time for this biased treatment to end. As the brave freedom fighter Fannie Lou Hamer declared, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Let Fani Willis' private life remain exactly that, private. Stop the witch hunt. And you can find the link, I guess, right here. When I clicked on it, it looked crazy. So I thought it was like some spam or something. This is my only question with that. Number one, these women now are giving hearty approval, as we just read from Romans. They're giving hearty approval to the sinful, dare I even say, evil and wicked behavior of Fani Willis. Are you trying to say, because please keep in mind again, these women are defending a black woman, which I think is rather interesting. I do think it's interesting that they're defending a black woman. And if a black woman is under attack, I think she should be defended. If a white woman is under attack, she should be defended. Hispanic or Asian or anybody else. Got you. But please understand, Fani Willis sinned against a black woman. So which black woman are you defending? Are you going to defend Jocelyn like this? Are y'all going to go to the mat that she gets every dime that she deserves because Nathan was having an affair and we are in an equal distribution state where if a husband is having an adulterous relationship, they break that when they break that marriage apart, they do just dole it out differently. Are you going to defend her? Do you defend Jocelyn Wade like you're defending Fani Willis, Mayor Franklin? Do you defend Jocelyn like you defend Fanny? Um, what's her name? The civil rights activist that penned this as well. Uh, Helen Butler, do you defend her? I'm just wondering because otherwise you're being inconsistent. And not only being inconsistent, you're giving duck and cover for Fanny's inappropriate behavior. Because please keep in mind, we wouldn't be having this conversation if she had not hired her boyfriend. Really, that's actually, I think we could almost say unanimously, if she had not hired Nathan Wade, I don't think anybody we would not be having this conversation. I mean, that's probably the dumbest thing that she did. She did a lot of dumb things, but we're going to put them in a scale of triage, and that's probably the worst. That you hired your boyfriend for a job that he's not qualified to do and to be paid twice as much as you and way more than any of his peers, and you don't want anybody to look at that sideways. because they couldn't look at you sideways because you was on vacations, taking roughly 5, maybe even 6 vacations within an 8-month, 9-month period. Miss Willis, what do you want us to do? So when we read these type of articles right here, and I'm like, you're giving hearty approval. You are giving unadulterated duck and cover to Fani and not calling her out for the things that she did wrong. You can still believe in her. That's the thing. You can still support Fani in the mission or the job that you wanted her to do, but you can also say in the exact same breath, you wrong as 2 left shoes. It's easy. I support Fani Willis here. Fani Willis is wrong as 2 left shoes over here. It's not really hard to do. It's not hard to do. But see, these people right here, they want to just give unadulterated. And please keep in mind, we all see what the issue is that Fani Willis is black. That's the issue for them. And every time you see this matter come up, you don't hear it coming up from people that don't look like her. It's only people that look like her that are making that an issue. The only people that are giving giving great issue to the fact that she's a black woman are other black people. White people aren't doing that. They're not. You don't hear one white person saying, "Oh, we are really going after her because she's a black woman." Nobody. They're calling out for exactly what most people can see, who are being logical and being sane, can see. That's wrong that you are sleeping with the man that you just hired to do a job that he's not qualified to do. It's really that easy. It can't be more difficult than that. You're making it more difficult than that, but it can't be. And therefore it's not. So check this article out. I just thought it was really wild. Again, shout out to Independent Mail. Grace and peace, brother. Thank you so much for sending me this. This is a very interesting article. Hopefully you'll get a chance to check it out. Hopefully they'll stop writing these kind of dumb things. But I got this bad feeling. We here in Georgia. I got a bad feeling about it. So is my volume all the way up? Is there something wrong with my volume? I hope not. My audio is low, they said. I hope not. I gotta do this all over again. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Rebecca. And I'm sorry that I needed my volume up. All right, let me turn it up. Let me turn it all the way up. Why is it doing that? Let me listen to it myself. Let me jump over here and check myself out. I hope not. I gotta do this all over again. Okay. When she go figure. Gonna happen. It sounds good on my end. These people right here sending me this. This is just looking at it real quick. I just checked it out on YouTube. It sounds okay to me. I'm sorry if I was wrong. If it was low, hopefully it wasn't. But thank you for the super chat. Thanks for hitting me up for that. I apologize. Nonetheless, let's go. There's two of me. There we go. That makes sense now. All right, what we got here? Thank you so very much. Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't think this is a fair argument. I think most of us who are trying to be fair would say this is not a fair argument. So you're saying basically that somebody who is high melanated you cannot criticize them. You cannot see something wrong, inappropriate, or whatnot in their behavior or actions because they're black. Come on, that doesn't work. That just doesn't work. And I don't even know how you think it would work. Like, I don't even understand. What's going on, Nicholas, in the building? Thank you so much. Atlanta must be stopped. Good to see you, Nicholas. Nicholas, of course, is another good Christian YouTube content creator. Thanks to the Atlanta Must Be Stopped crew for being a true bulwark against moral insanity in America, indeed, and not in mere posturing only. Thank you so much, brother. Grace and peace. Always good to check it out, what you're doing over there. Wow. Okay. I'm unsettled in Fani's unprofessional work ethics. This is what Dee Dee says. She has frauded her community and her office. Why can nobody else say that? Why is that a controversial thought that, you're not doing right by Fulton County? I live in Cobb County, so I'm in a different place. But you have not served Fulton County properly when you said that you would. This would be a great time for me to have had the clip where she talked about how she talked bad about the previous DA, Paul Howard. And again, apparently he had some issues that I heard. I don't know if they were ever verified and whatnot. I don't think it was any kind of hearing like this. However, Paul Howard, apparently was sleeping around and such. And she made a lot of fuss about that. And then for her to literally be caught doing it, it almost as if she was doing that while she was dating Nathan Wade. That's crazy. So she's dating a married man while she's talking about Paul Howard and his indiscretions. That is crazy. I mean, talk about missing the entire forest for the trees. What about the black wife? There we go. That's my question, Sergeant King. What about the black wife? I mean, does she not matter? Just your average man, just an average man, please forgive me, says they are elevating her to deity level. Please understand. Please understand. Y'all might think that that's a little bit of hyperbole that he just used right there. Please hear me. He's not being hyperbolic at all. You will see her on murals on the inner city in a minute. You're gonna see her on T-shirts during Juneteenth. She is going to be a demigod by next Tuesday. I'm just trying to tell you. It's actually anti-Christian for them. I'm sorry, to them, she can do no wrong. That's it. Like that, you can't correct somebody like this. How many moral sins did she commit? These people excuse them all and praise her as a Messiah because she's casting stones at somebody they dislike. That's it. Really, truly, I promise you, if it was not for the fact that Fani Willis was going after somebody that they didn't like, we would not be having this conversation because they wouldn't have let Fani Willis get this far. I won't judge her. God will. Absolutely. Good to see you, Griff MG in the building. Good to see you. Oh, can we talk about it? I mean, it's very clear. It's extremely overt. They ain't even trying to hide it. Now, Susan Rainey says that she is a Fulton County resident. I haven't gone on a vacation since 2017. Nobody gave me a free vacation. Thank you for calling out the facts. I mean, really? I mean, that's unfortunate that people in her community have to listen to how somebody, a public servant, mind you, of their community, who basically they're paying, has been misusing their funds to do things for herself and enrich herself and those around her. That's unfortunate. So I'm low. Am I still low? I hope not. Am I still low? All right, let me look over here on the YouTube real quick. I sound fine on my end. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm listening to it on YouTube. It sounds good. So I think we've settled the problem. So I'm sorry. If they were in Montana, this is what Brando says, somewhere I could better understand the blackness being something making folks act unusual. I- Let's just be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be 50 next month. And all of my 50 years, I've not been in a situation where being of the high melanated flavor was truly a problem. Sure, I've been places where I was the only black person. I'm not going to make that up. But one of the problems with this issue, one of the problems with this story is that I am assuming something about you that I don't know. So just because if I walk into a room and everybody in the room turns and looks at me, that does not mean anything. Maybe I came in fast. Maybe I opened the door loud. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they didn't expect anybody to come in. Just because people looked at me doesn't mean anything. But see, we are able to impugn, and now we're going into what I talk about critical race theory. We're able to critical race theory when you embrace the victimhood mentality and when you become a champion of victimhood stock exchange, you now have the ability to read people's thoughts. Because please keep in mind, scripture never tells us to impugn people's thoughts. Christ knows our thoughts. He knows the inner workings of our heart. All I can do at best is look at your actions. But critical race theory gives you the ability to actually read people's minds and know what they're thinking. And then from there, you can impugn them. That's evil. That's why I say critical race theory is a cult. It is a cult. And I'll stand on that one. So going back to your point right here, nobody trust me, sure, there are people here that are probably partial here in Georgia. no question about it. They're probably even here in Atlanta. They might very well be in law enforcement or a lawmaker or politics. But the overall overwhelming majority of people here in Georgia are not that. Sure, there's some, no question about it. But the overwhelming majority of people are just minding their business. They enjoy their families, they enjoy their kids, they want to go to work, come home, enjoy themselves, and do life. They're not studying me. I tell people all the time, all my neighbors on both sides of me are white. They do not wake up in the morning saying, darn it, Jason's still alive. That black guy's next door. Nobody's worrying about me. They really are not. They wave at me. They help me get my garbage can if I leave it out too late. All that kind of stuff. No, just stop it. So I just don't play the game. At the end of the day, I let the other people play that. I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to impugn Barbara. I'm not going to assume that I know what's going on in Kirsten's life. I'm not going to assume that just because they're white. They walk past my house and oh, they're walking fast. They must be walking fast because my house is a black family. Shut up. Just stop it. Just stop it. It's just stupid. Just stop it. Let's be real, Griff says. She has embezzled Fulton County taxpayer money by proxy. Rico rings a bell. I mean, I really would love to know, like, if we could just like create an alternate universe, if we could switch all of these players, males, swap males and males, males for females and females for males, and swap genders. I would love to see how this would play out if it were a white man who had a white girlfriend who was trying to um, prosecute a former black president. I would absolutely love to see. And would they be the exact one for one? Would they be exactly this gracious to the male as they are to Fani Willis? I would love to see it. I'm also a Fulton County resident and voted on Tuesday. I voted, was that yesterday? No, it was Tuesday. Yes. Yes, it was Tuesday. Today's what, Thursday? Yeah. The days just run together, man, I tell you. There you go. Come on, Q. Come on, Q. Moderator of the day. There we go. Oh, it will be that huge mural on the corner of a building. Stacey Abrams over. Yep. Yes, there is one. You're correct. You're absolutely right. There's a mural of Stacey Abrams downtown Atlanta. Absolutely. And I'm like, why is she there? I've seen it. Like, what is going on here? So this is a very interesting statement, Franklin says here. When one chooses to play victim, they often end up victimizing others. That's a very keen observation. I like that. I like that. I gotta say, hold on to that one. You might hear that one again. Well, thank you so much, Sergeant. Bless you. We need more people speaking out like you, Jason. Well, thank you so much. I sometimes look at whoever walks into a room before I know what color their skin is. Too. I mean, just again, like this, Nicholas says, this gives people the power and the ability to say, oh, the reason they looked at me is because I am highly melanated. Oh, they looked at me like this because I'm a guy. You see this a lot with the whole gym influencer thing, where young ladies are trying to record themselves in gyms working out, and then they talk about the guys that are looking over at them. Like, it's just doing the most. It's seeking an opportunity to be offended. Because as I tell people all the time, we're like in the victimhood Olympics. And so this is a victim stock market where you can trade victimhood and you can trade it and gain more power or gain more abilities and whatnot like that. So that's where we are. So CRT is a cancer. It is a cult. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Christianity teaches never to judge. Not to judge hypocritically. So, for example, if Nathan is stepping out on his wife, he can't call somebody else out who's stepping out on their wife. That's inappropriate. Christianity teaches never to judge. Critical theory, however, teaches to judge everyone on race, sex, gender, and ideology. Now, that is absolutely correct. I appreciate it. Good to see you so much, Paulette. Paulus, thank you so much. Thank you for coming by on this afternoon, this evening. Yeah, the gym situation. But that's my point. Like they do that the only reason they're doing that is to get attention. Because I guarantee you, if somebody opened up a gym that was a studio style, so you could come in and it was meant for you to take videos and such like that, but you would be only by yourself. Like let's say you had a whole section, the whole rack all by yourself. I guarantee you, none of those women would go there. None of those women would go there. It could be the best, most up-to-date equipment, the most newest and cleanest facility, best lighting, all that kind of stuff like that. They wouldn't go. If I opened up a studio gym where you can come and you can do all of your workouts and get your camera angles. Matter of fact, we'll even record it for you. Okay. You can get all the different camera angles that you can use for all your gym influencing. I guarantee you they probably still wouldn't come. They probably would not come because they need the attention. This is an attention seeking generation that we're in. And they have no shame either. Let me see. I appreciate that. No, great question. Let me real quick. A station break. Oh, I forgot to play the commercial. All right, got to play my commercial. Sorry, y'all.
Where politics and justice intertwine, a storm is brewing. Welcome to As the Peach Turns. Fani Willis, once a rising legal star, now finds herself at the center of a legal firestorm. Accusations of misconduct and ethical breaches have cast a shadow over her career. As the investigation intensifies, the stakes couldn't be higher. Join us as we unravel the tangled web of power, ambition, and justice in this episode of As the Peach Turns.
Appreciate y'all. So I gotta play my ad every now and then. I gotta play my little commercial every now and then. Shout out again to We Watch YouTube for that great commercial. That's hilarious, man. I absolutely love it. But okay, so here's my question for y'all as we get ready to shift gears. What is your overall thoughts of the trial or the hearing up to this point? So everything that's happened up to this point. The disqualification, so on and so forth. What are your overall thoughts? Do you feel better about the judicial system, that the wheels of justice are turning? Or do you feel like, we are in cash money trouble? What is your overall thoughts? And you can be from wherever. I know I got somebody here from the UK watching. So, what are your overall thoughts about it? Let's go. If you follow Fulton County Board of Commission, Atlanta City Council, it is very clear that the investigations are needed by federal officials. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's sad to say, but I'm starting to believe that now a little bit more. Like, I didn't realize how morally bankrupt Atlanta was. I didn't realize that until this thing really hit the fever pitch. Like, wow, we really are in trouble here. So, no, I appreciate it. I'm glad you like the commercial. I'm glad you like it. I actually have another one. I got to pull it back in. I don't know why I took it. I moved it out and I couldn't find it fast enough. But when I do, I'll bring it back in. It's another fun one that they made. And I think it was a song. It was a jingle one. I think y'all heard it last night when we did it. Oh, I found it. Oh, no, this is mine. Sorry about that. Okay. Do y'all hear President Firstborn talking that loud? All right. I was born a couple of years after MLK. Okay. Gotcha. I was educated, to quote, abbreviated, where people will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And I live by that. All right. I don't know whatever happened to that. Like, we're literally doing backwards. We're literally saying it doesn't matter what kind of character you are. You can be a character as long as you're the right skin color, then your characterness doesn't get called into question. That's crazy. That is crazy. The legal system rots slowest because it is less reliant on politics and more reliant on technical due process. Okay. Still rots though. I agree, man. Thank you. Okay. Rebecca asked, and I did actually have that. I did not get a chance. We might be reading it together. Rebecca, thank you so much. Rebecca, thank you for the super chat, by the way. She says, Jason, did you get my email I sent you? I sent the public subpoena to Fani from Jim Jordan in the House Judiciary Committee that was posted. That was Yes, I did see it, and let me just real quick because it was interesting for sure. I don't remember what's the email, the name though. Oh yeah. Why is President Firstborn talking so loud? All right. I'm pulling the article. I'm gonna pull it in a second. Sorry about that. My impressions is that all of the bovine scatology corruption in Fulton County offices are starting to starting to be exposed for the world to see is something some of us have known for decades. I didn't realize how bad we were, but yes, I agree with you. I'm starting to really believe and understand and see it like, yo, we're in trouble. But hopefully we can. I'm hoping against hope that Georgia can pull it around. But yeah, we do have some problems. Yeah, we do have some problems. All right, so let's look at this is a good story and a shout out again to Rebecca. She did send it to me, and I'm going to pull in the video so we can kind of talk about it real quick. Let's go with Fox. All right. Because usually they let me go without. Yes. Okay. Let's go. This is interesting because zoom out a little bit. Do y'all hear my kids talking so loud to their mom? Why are they doing that? Oh, okay. That looks okay, but not really good. Let me fix that. 1 second. All right. This should be better. Let's see. It's still off center. Move me out of the way. Why is this so off center though? Okay. House Judiciary Committee threatens DA Fani Willis with contempt. All right, and it's still out of line for y'all. What did I do wrong? What did I do? What did I do? There we go. Gotcha. All right, the House, and this is I do think that many people ask about this earlier, and I do think this is something that I think this end up happening. Like, she's going to get in more trouble because she didn't submit to the audit for Fulton County and all that kind of stuff like that. So this one is another one. Let us continue. The House Judiciary Committee threatens DA Fani Willis with contempt. Well, contempt for what? The U.S. House Committee on Judiciary on the judiciary is placing Fulton County District Fani Willis on notice that her cooperation is expected. Ooh, it is expected in their investigation into allegations of misusing federal funds during the Georgia election interference case investigation. This is going to be bad. A subpoena sent to Willis dated February 2nd and issued by Chairman Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, claims that Willis had failed to comply voluntarily with the committee's request for documents related to her office's receipt and use of U.S. Department of Justice grants. Furthermore, Jordan accused Willis of terminating an employee who attempted to halt the Georgia committee, rather the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, from using a federal grant for purposes such as travel, computers, and swag related to the creation of the Center for Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention. I actually have heard that. I did hear that before. In response to Jordan's claims, a spokesperson from the Fulton County District Attorney told Fox that the allegations were false and stated that the terminated employee was from the previous administration and was dismissed for cause dismissing any potential lawsuits over termination as baseless litigation. Willis given a deadline. In a new letter to Willis, the committee acknowledged acknowledges a receipt of a narrow set of documents. This goes to part of the problem that we've seen with Fani earlier as well. We talked about it earlier today as well, that they demonstrate they're either incompetent or they're completely rotten low down because they never seem to do anything correct. And we're going to look at that in a moment. So let's continue. The committee demanded that Willis's office provide all documents and communications related to allegations of federal fund misuse, communications with the Justice Department, communications with Fulton County District Attorney's Office employees regarding federal grants, grant applications, and agreements, as well as grant performance, measurement, and progress reporting documents. All right, and this is not a really long. I'll come back to that. Let's finish this and I'll come back and we'll go over that complaint real quick. Additionally, the letter emphasizes that while Willis had requested the committee to engage with the Justice Department for the requested documents, her request did not absolve her from legal obligation to comply with the committee's subpoena. And we've seen this countless times already, that she doesn't seem to provide data. She doesn't seem to provide information. Just like she said, she doesn't have receipts. Just like Nathan he was doing the block billing. There's a lot of instances where you're just like, are you incompetent? Or are you trying to deliberately hide something or run some kind of shell game? But let us continue. The committee has also rejected Willis's claim that the subpoena was overbroad and unduly burdensome. Willis was given a deadline of noon on March 28th. So that's she got 2 weeks to comply with the demands. Failure to do so, the committee warned, could result in further actions, including the invocation of contempt of Congress proceedings. The House Judiciary Committee also announced an investigation into Wade on January 12th. In a letter sent to Wade, the committee expressed its belief that Wade may possess documents and information about the coordination of Fulton County District Attorney's Office with other politically motivated investigations and prosecutions, as well as potential misuse of federal funds. Well, we know Wade don't keep any records. So that's going to be a wrap if they waiting for him to give up any information. We know that dude don't got none. Let us continue. Wade was also accused in the letter of receiving a substantial amount of money from Fulton County, which he reportedly spent extravagantly on lavish vacations with his superior, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. What does the House Judiciary Committee do? The U.S. House Committee on the Judiciary, also known as the House Judiciary Committee, is a standing committee of the House of Representatives. It has jurisdiction over a wide range of issues related to the administration of justice, including federal courts and judicial procedures, civil rights and civil liberties, constitutional amendments, and antitrust issues, crime control, and drug policies. Willis also wanted the Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee's decision on the efforts to have her in office disqualified from for prosecuting the former president and his co-defendants. Willis is also waiting, the original motion filed by Michael Roman and his attorney, Ashley Merchant, accused Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade of having an improper relationship that financially benefited Willis. The allegations led to a hearing which both Willis and Wade denied they had done anything wrong. McAfee is expected to deliver his decision by the end of the week, which is tomorrow. So far, that was great. All right, let's look at this complaint. Let's see what we got. Pull it up and see what happens if I just click on it, see if the world is going to come to an end. Probably not. All right, let's see. Ooh, they were not playing games with her at all. Let's go. Let's zoom in, make it big. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is going to be wild. All right. I just think it's wild, man, that she's getting special letters from the from Congress. Great day. All because she hired her boyfriend. And I think it's probably more than that, but I think she would have done she would have misused funds. I don't think we would have heard about it if she had misused funds apart from involving Nathan Wade. That's my little 2 cents. All right, let's go. Ms. Willis, the committee and the judiciary is continuing its oversight under the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, receipt and use of federal grant funds issued by the U.S. Department of Justice on February 2nd. After several attempts to obtain your voluntary compliance with our oversight, the committee issued a subpoena to you. The subpoena compelled the production of two specific categories of documents. One, documents and communications referring to or related to the Fulton County Department District Attorney's Office receipt and use of federal funds, and two, documents and communications referring to or related to any allegations of the misuse of federal funds. So they want to know how you spent the money, and then we want to know who complained about how you were spending the money. So that would have got the whistleblower if they had done what was correct. Then the whistleblower, if they sent an email or they sent a memo, anything like that, then it would show up in that. So they're covering both of those bases, and definitely, I I think somebody said it better. If they ask for it, they already know the answer. So let's continue. On February 23rd, 2024, so that was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you responded to the committee's subpoena with a letter in which you smeared a former employee of yours who spoke out about your misuse of federal grant funds. Okay, so that would be the whistleblower that they said was fired. We will not dignify your attacks on this brave whistleblower or your continued attempts to distract from your conduct through misdirection. Wow, they are not playing games. And put personal insults. The allegations in the public realm about your misuse of federal grant money fundings are concerning, and the committee has an obligation to examine them. I kind of want to know what she said. Like, wow, man, she was gangster. This would be wild. We appreciate that you have produced a narrow set of documents in response to the subpoena, but your compliance with the subpoena to date is deficient. Wow. This is what I'm talking about. Is this because they're dirty, or is it because they're incompetent? Why is it that they can't seem to do what they're asked to do? And again, these are the people that you want us to believe are going to prosecute Trump fairly. Let us continue. I just don't think it's going to work. We appreciate that you have produced the narrow documents in response to our subpoena, but your compliance with the subpoena to date is deficient. Attached to your letter were various documents, a number of which were previously produced to the committee that contained, among other things, 15 award letters from the Department of Justice of Justice Programs, and Office of Violence Against, and approximately 27 screenshots of expense budget summaries available to the Fulton County Department District Attorney's Office. However, you failed to produce, look at this list, all the documents and communications referring or relating to any allegations of the misuse of federal funds by the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Also, documents or communications between or among your office and Justice Department, including its OJP and OVW components. All communications between Fulton County employees about the receipts of use of federal grants. All documents that fall within the scope of the subpoena, which is, such as the Fulton County's application, proposal abstracts, grant agreements, federal financial management, and systems of internal controls, questionnaire, consolidation budgets, summary documents. Wow. They want it all. All documents and communications related to Fulton County's grant, performance measurements, and progress reporting information. I think the last thing Fannie needs to worry about is worrying about Trump. I think she should just go ahead and put that off of her mind and worry about this. This sounds bad. Although additional materials are likely also responsive to the additional materials are likely responsive to committee's subpoena as an accommodation, we will prioritize the production of the documents and communications identified above. Yo, imagine having to try to find all this stuff if you don't have it. Like, that's making my hands sweat just thinking about it. Like, whoa, if they've been dirty and they have not done this stuff, wow. And these people are looking for specific things. Like, they want the proposal abstract. If you didn't do that, you're gonna be looking weird. They want the consolidation budget summary. I don't even know what that is. That's entirely too many syllables for me. That's gonna be crazy. Your letter also requests that the committee engage with the Justice Department to obtain responsive documents that the Fulton County should have in its possession. As a part of your oversight, the committee has engaged with the Justice Department about the administration of federal grant programs. The committee's separate requests to the Justice Department, the committee's separate requests to the Justice Department do not alleviate your legal obligation to comply with the subpoena. Wow. What if they had like made up documents that they sent to this department, but they don't remember what they made up and they just kind of wrote down some numbers and faxed it over to that department. And now they got to make it up again, but they don't remember what they wrote on it the first time. I'm not saying that's what they did, but man, it sounds like some sloppy, as this person said right there, it sounds like some messy accounting. And this is only going to get worse. In addition, in your letter, you noted that the preliminary objection to the committee subpoena on the grounds that the subpoenas are overbroad and unduly burdensome under any ordinary means of those terms. To the contrary, the committee has exercised the authority with restraint. The subpoena seeks only 2 categories of documents, and the scope of its request covers only a limited time period, namely January 1st, 2020 to present. So that's basically 4 years. 4 years and 3 months. Okay. In addition, I do kind of wonder what she wrote because it sounds like she wrote some gangster stuff, man. Okay, let's see. In addition, as discussed above, the committee is prioritizing certain categories of documents as an accommodation. While you have additional, or rather, you have indicated that additional documents may be forthcoming in response to the committee subpoena, the committee has yet to receive any additional responsive materials in the 3 weeks since your initial response. Accordingly, I guess she just thought, if I tell you something, you'll forget about it. Oh my gosh. Accordingly, the committee expects that you will produce all responsive documents to the subpoena in the categories prioritized by the committee no later than 12 p.m. on March 28th. So that's 2 weeks from now. If you fail to do so, the committee will consider taking further action, such as the invocation of contempt of Congress proceedings. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yikes. Yo. But see, people are proud of Fani. People are proud of her and they look up to her and they want you to stop being mean to her. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. Thank you so much for reminding me about this, Rebecca. I apologize. I didn't pull it up and have it ready to go already. Really? This person thinks that McAfee is going to chump out. Really? Letters from Congress, not God. There we go. All right, let's see. Why do you think McAfee's going to jump out? Like, what would be your reasoning for McAfee? Okay, here we go. Fani has a large fan base. And they live by the Sister Queen Code. That's fine. I mean, that's understandable. This is a problem, though. I don't think people keep in mind. If we took voting blocks, if we took blocks of people, I really hate that we isolate people like this, but if we took the maybe top three ethnic groups, let's just say that the top three ethnic groups are white, black, and Hispanic. Then we divided them by gender. So white males, black males, Hispanic males, white women, black women, Hispanic women. The if she would have to, sure, let's just say that all black women in Fulton County support Fani Willis. All of them. Every black woman supports Fani Willis. But do all Hispanic women? Do all white women? Do all black men? Do all white men? To me, I don't think that the sisterhood code, because it doesn't work. And we know that because Stacey Abrams didn't win. Stacey Abrams stay losing. So when we try to hyperfixate on skin color, it worked for Obama, and even with Obama, it wasn't skin color. They really micro niched down to almost blocks of of a city, of a town, and such like that. It wasn't just they did reach out to different people group and ethnic groups. They always do that, but really they were really micro niching down, and people didn't realize how grassroots and how small they were navigating. And the same thing's here, but it doesn't work for others. So I don't think it's going to work, because at the end of the day, they can say it all day long. They can talk a lot of game, but they're not unified like that. They can say that they got a sister code till the cows come home, but they're not going to be there for that. I mean, so what are you there for her? Like, what are you there for her? When that question is asked, what do you support Fani in, and why? The sister code is going to evaporate. So I don't think that's going to be as much of a problem, or that is as big a problem as it might seem or it might appear. That's just my little 2 cents. Oh yeah, that's right. Hank Johnson. If Hank Johnson or one of the squad was still in charge of that committee, we would still have never not heard anything from them about this misuse of federal funds. They would have let it slide. That is so true. That is true. That lady was fired and walked out the building. Dirty and incompetent. Not just incompetent, not just dirty, but dirty and both incompetent and scandalous. It's because she's incompetent, because Jan said she said that she didn't have to answer Jim Jordan's subpoena because he didn't know anything about the law. Okay. I'm just waiting to see what happens. I think it's going to be very interesting. But let's continue. Of course, did you watch Fannie's office get shot down in the new automobile request? When? They just made it. Oh, we watched it. Wait, they changed their mind? We watched them give them approval to spend, was it 600 and something odd $1,000 to buy cars? All right. I think this is going to be wild. So if she ends up having to go to DC to answer the subpoena, oh my gosh. Well, hopefully she'll actually submit the papers, because to me, I think being in contempt of Congress is going to be super problematic. But somebody said it, and I said this a long time ago. Fannie should just step down. Fannie should just step down. I said this right after the shenanigans in the pink dress. And somebody said, like, it doesn't matter. The die has already been cast. It doesn't even matter. So even if she did step down, if she had stepped down, it would not have changed one of these things. She would still be subpoenaed asked for this from Congress. She would still be brought up on ethics charges. All that stuff would still be real. I don't know. Is it federal penitentiary bad? I don't know, but it's definitely bad. Is Georgia 3 hours ahead of California in time? I do not want to miss any early streams with Judge McAfee decision tomorrow. So yeah, Georgia is 3 hours ahead. So at the current moment is 7:34 here in Georgia. So that means it would be 434 there. And at the current moment, because some other YouTubers wanted to jump on stream and talk about it, at the current moment, right at this moment, we were going to, I'll tell you the plan. So, all right, I think this is my augmenting my prediction. I think Judge McAfee is going to probably throw it out there about 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And everybody's going to go crazy. The water's going to be all a boil because of everybody's going to be reading it. And so I planned on going live. If he drops it at 3 o'clock, I need to go over it, kind of make sure I understand what's going on. And then like at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we were going to go live, me and Rick and possibly K-Dub and April. We're going to talk about it. But if not, I might just do it myself. If they say, no, we don't want to do it, or we got other things coming up, I might just do it myself. The only inhibiting factor is President Firstborn is supposed to be going to a party at school, and I think I might be having to take her. And I think that's at 7 o'clock. But if not, if Lady Dearworld Christian helps me out, which would be wonderful, wife of the year. Oh, no. That's on Saturday. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, no, we don't have it tomorrow. Okay, no, it's on Saturday. My bad. Okay, so take that back. That's irrelevant now. Okay, so I should be good to go. All right, there we go. So it'll probably be 7 o'clock. If he throws it out tomorrow, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5, whatever. I plan on going live at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So the lady that she fired wrote the grant. So that's probably why they're asking for the letters, information on how you use the grant, and then how you secured the grant, and then anything about how it was being used. That makes sense. Because then that would be emails, memos, notes, grant amendments, anything like that. So yeah. This is also why I cannot see how the judge could rule in her favor, like they will eat her up. Like, yeah. I can't. That's another reason why there's entirely too many reasons to. I think Judge McAfee has already written that decision. He might be at home praying over it, whatever, but he's already written that decision. That decision is there. It's ready. And he's just waiting for the clock to tick to, 3 o'clock tomorrow so he hit send. So that's already done. I don't think any new information was shared that really required him, like, oh, I gotta, I really need to get that. Just like they didn't need the unpack the cell hawk data. They didn't need him to bring in somebody who Fannie had paid $400 to in California. They didn't need that. So I think he's already made his decision. It's written. He's just waiting to hit send or post, whatever it is. Team Big Fanny. All right. Jim Jordan, let's go. What do you mean, Rebecca? I'm curious how the Democratic side is going to prep their questions. Are they going to rely? You're talking about if she has to come to DC? Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. That's a great question, and I don't have a good answer. Yeah, that would. Oh my gosh, that would be. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, this is going to be the gift that just keeps giving. There will be. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way this is going to end before the end of the summer. There's no way. You know she's going to. You know it. Said if Fannie submits requested documents, she will submit redacted info. Absolutely. So she'll submit something with redactions, and then they're going to send it back saying, "Hey, thanks for sending this, but you redacted stuff," and it's going to just go be a back and forth. Now you're saying Chris says his subpoena has no teeth. The DOJ will not hold her in contempt of Congress if she doesn't respond. Okay. Hey, I guess we'll see. No, I think that's great, man. I think sending it, as Paula said right here, I do think that's kind of interesting that he waited till almost, Thursday. What's today? Thursday. Yeah, Thursday to do that, because whatever Judge McAfee does is already done. And now, yeah, I think that's kind of smart. I think it's going to be interesting, to say the very least, though. This is going to be wild. They can subpoena unredacted copies. Absolutely. I just think they're going to send redacted copies to kind of start it off like, hey, I sent this to you. But I could be wrong. But they just seem like the type of place that would send redacteds, redactions, and then be like, oh, you wanted the full copy? My bad. Like, just to waste time. And that's what, I mean, just my observation of them. Not saying that I know anything. Oh, Judge McAfee is going to announce his decision at the end of the day, so he can leave the bench and return home and enjoy his weekend. I agree. Look, now, he can do it at 9:00 and then kind of take it onto the house too. I'll let him have the rest of the day off. If he goes in and just sends it, that would be great. I would appreciate it though, because I need something to read. Judge, come on. How many pages do you think that thing is? Oh, the dog ate it. How many pages do you think it's going to be? You think it's going to be like 20 pages? Hopefully not. I mean, we need it like short and concise. Like, yo, this is to the point. But I'm going to go with 25 pages. It's going to be like a 25-page doc. All right, what we got here? I'm sorry, looking to see if there's a couple people that wanted to jump on stream tomorrow. That's amazing. Praise God. That's great, man. And it just shot me a message about it. I like that idea. I like it. Girl, Paulus, stop it. No way. No, no, no.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. Remove that message. No 700-page message. No. Oh my gosh, no. 25. I'm giving you 30 pages to be gracious. That's it. That's all he needs. Don't need a 700 page. That's a whole course in pre-K law school. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. No. I got to find me another no. No. Because if I see that, you know what I'm going to say? If I see a 700-page thing, I'm going to say, something just ain't right. Something ain't right. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Not to put salt on the wound, but I do hope her Wade and Trump make that appearance. Oh, that would be wild. How many No, come. Stop it. Stop it. Let me find a stop it. I need y'all to stop that. No, it's not going to be volumes. It's going to be 25 pages. It's going to be 30 pages with some kind of appendix at the end. That's it. It's going to happen. Megyn Kelly has a scoop on judge's decision. Really? Where? I kind of like Megyn Kelly. Her interviews have been pretty interesting. All right, let's see. Chris. Okay, now please understand, a lot of people like doing that, speculation Olympics up in here. I don't want to be the speculation police. I don't want to do that to y'all. Oh man, this is an hour long. Oh, wait. New revelation and potential outcomes of the Fani Willis. Okay. This is not long. All right, let's see. Let's see here. All right, who's this guy? Paul Sperry. Is that who you're talking about? Chris? All right. But you should check it out for us. Okay. So this is Megyn Kelly. And I think this is Paul Sperry. I don't. It's all. You know what this is like? Okay, this is exactly what it's like. There we go. I know exactly what it's like. All right. When there is a really, really big lottery, like something crazy, like something 100 quadrillion $1 billion. Everybody has these new theories about how, the trajectory of the air and the weight of the balls with the numbers on them. And, everybody has a speculation. So, and hear me, I'm speculating, okay? I've been speculating for 3 weeks, okay? So I totally get it. But at some point, I think we have to deal with like, okay, let's look at the facts, okay? And not just kind of, because I think sometimes we get like, hey, yo, this is what I want to happen. So I have to read everything I want to happen into it, into the facts. I really want, the lottery number to be, the Powerball number to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason I'm saying that, I convinced myself that, the number one, it weighs a certain amount. And, again, I think people just get, they get too caught up in it. But okay, let's look at this Megyn Kelly situation here. It's really here, trust me. Let's see.
Paul Sperry, he gets a lot of scoops. We've had him on the show before. He does these deep investigations for Real Clear. And he's sent out a couple of tweets citing a source close to the judge. Now, we don't know whether this person actually is in a position to know what the judge is thinking. But the second tweet, we brought the first one to our audience last week. The second Paul Sperry tweet reads as follows. Judge McAfee views cell phone data and the Terrence Bradley texts as suggestive but not dispositive, or as enough proof to settle the matter, according to an Atlanta attorney familiar with his thinking. Texts provide no insight into how Terrence Bradley would know, meaning that they had an affair long before 2022. Did he see them? Wade told him. Now, that is an interesting thought, that the judge is getting ready to dismiss evidence of the cell phone data, the many texts between these two long before they admit their affair took place, and the middle of the night visits, as the texts seem to suggest, and so on. And also Bradley's texts to Nathan Wade, or to Ashley Merchant, saying, it began well before, because he's saying the texts don't actually show Bradley had personal knowledge of it. Could have been speculation. Well, if any of that is true, how do you see it?
That's just dead wrong. There are people on death row. I have a client in prison on far, far less compelling evidence of pings and tweets and cell towers. She put people in prison based on that. If this judge doesn't conclude beyond any doubt that there was an improper relationship. Also, is there any doubt that she never paid back the money? What lawyer who has to comply with ethics rules would ever not have a record of paying back money? You have bank deposits, withdrawals, you have a photograph of the money being paid. But for her to make up a story that she paid the money back and has one piece of evidence that once she paid for a wine tasting with cash, there are so many people in prison for long term on less evidence than that. If this judge doesn't believe that, or says he doesn't believe it, he wouldn't be telling the truth. I can tell you with 100% certainty that this judge sitting there knows absolutely that this affair occurred before, that the money wasn't paid back, that they committed perjury, that they conspired to commit perjury. But judges sometimes pretend that they don't believe testimony or believe testimony in order to spare themselves. He doesn't want to look the elected DA in the eye and say, you're a perjurer, you should be in prison. But there's absolutely no doubt that there's enough here to disqualify. And if he doesn't disqualify, this whole case will be subject to all kinds of criticism, not only in the court of public opinion, but in the courts of law as well. I hope the judge does the right thing, but I've said from the beginning, I don't think he will. I don't think he has the guts. I don't think he has the courage to tell the truth. And I think he'll find a way to weasel out of this thing to say, oh, well, the cell tower, who are you going to believe? Me or your lying eyes? Look, she and he had an affair before they were appointed. Okay,
I got to give him a second to breathe. Let the brandy breathe. I understand his point. I understand him. I understand him. I everything he said, I totally get. I totally believe. I agree with what he's saying. I only disagree with the fact that he doesn't believe that the judge is going to decide rightly. And that I don't believe. I don't believe that part. But especially when he says the scrutiny that he's not going to be able to handle the scrutiny and he's going to buckle. I just don't think that's the case. And shout out to Frank Sinatra. Anybody else notice all this Frank Sinatra memorabilia in the back? Okay, let's let him go. Let's go, sir. Let's go, Alan.
Is absolutely clear, and her testimony under oath is perjury. The evidence is overwhelming as to that. And if the judge pretends not to believe it, there's a bridge in Brooklyn that I could sell him as well. But judges do that all the time.
Yes.
You know, cops
Yep.
Arrest people. They say the drug dealer dropped the drugs on the floor. That's lie number 7 on the list of 10 lies. Dropsy testimony. And I've looked in the eyes of judges and they say, well, we believe this testimony. And then, 2 years later, after court, you talk to the judge and they'll say, of course, I never believed it. Of course, I knew he was lying, but the person was guilty and I just didn't want the person to get off. Judges play that game all the time. And if this judge tries to play that game now, a lot of lawyers and a lot of people like you and me are going to be after him because it will be a disgrace to the judicial system if she's allowed to continue. It's a disgrace to the legal system if she's not disbarred and not put in jail. And I hope the people of Fulton County have enough sense to throw her out of office, at least when it comes to an election.
All right, couple of questions on that. Could the judge, because I do want to talk about what import we glean from the dismissal of those 6 counts. I mean, but let me just table that for 1 second. Table it for 1 second and ask you, do you think there's a way in which this judge could say, I'm not going to kick her off this case. I'm not going to maybe even kick Nathan Wade off the case, though I think most people agree he's probably gone. But let's say he says, I'm not going to kick them off the case. Any disciplinary matters involving their misleading of this court really are a matter for the bar. And so I don't approve of it. I don't like it, but I don't see as grounds for disqualification. This is really just an ethical matter for the bar.
He could say that. That would be a cop-out. But he could say that. And also, I think his dismissal of the 6 counts basically was a message. See, I'm fair. I don't rule in favor of her every time. I took that dismissal of the 6 counts as a signal that he was not going to disqualify the whole office. Otherwise, he would have waited to see whether the new office was going to stand by that or maybe re-indict. So I think that your source is probably correct. And I think it was Levin on Fox News who called me the Nostradamus of lawyers, because I get my predictions right all the time because I don't make predictions based on wishful thinking. So my prediction here is that he's going to figure out a way of not completely and totally disqualifying them. Maybe he'll say there's an appearance, but the appearance isn't enough under the law. But whatever he says, if he suggests that you can believe anything she said, he should not be on the bench because he would not be telling the truth. He does not believe her. I guarantee you, he's smart enough. Do you know anybody who actually, even CNN, many of their legal commentators who were always wrong,
I like this guy,
say they didn't believe her. They didn't believe him. It's not enough here to disqualify, but we don't believe her. If you don't believe her, she's committed perjury. And if you don't believe both of them, they've committed perjury, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to commit perjury. Again, let me emphasize one more time. She put people in prison on less evidence than is now against her. What hypocrisy.
All right, so the judge issues this decision dismissing 6 counts of the indictment.
I gotta let that breathe. I gotta let that breathe for a second. Let that breathe. Hold on. Yo, who suggested this video? Chris, you are my hero today. You are the hero of the day. There you go. You are the hero of the day. This thing is hilarious, okay? I like this guy. What's his name? Alan Dershowitz. I like him. I might listen to some Frank Sinatra tonight in honor of him. I like him, man. I like the way he handles it. Now, I don't agree with, I just like the way he presents himself. Now, I can understand what he's saying. So, hey, it can probably go that way. But no, I like the way he handled it. I think he's making the case that we all agree to, is that nobody believed her. I mean, again, like CNN, I did see that. I saw left-leaning organizations that didn't agree with her, or didn't believe her rather. So yeah, I believe that Judge McAfee is going to do the right thing. I think, let me tell you what I'm thinking about Alan Dershowitz, and then we'll go ahead and finish it up. Sometimes I think in order to keep your enthusiasm down, you have to be hyper negative in the other direction. So it's like, oh, I know that they're going to lose. My team's going to lose because I don't want to get excited that my team is going to win. Because I really feel that my team's going to win. But in order to keep myself and my emotions in check so I can go and enjoy the game or whatever, I got to, we're probably going to lose, man. Hey, look at that guy. He's so much bigger than us. I think that's what he's doing because I just can't believe that he thinks that I feel like the judge has demonstrated, because it's all on Judge McAfee at this point. I feel like he demonstrated being a fair shooter. Even the way that he translated throwing out the 6 charges yesterday, like, no, he interpreted much differently than anybody else that I've heard. So, okay, I'm going to go on a limb and say that though I like him, and I'll probably have to find some more, I disagree with Mr. Dershowitz, but it is what it is. All right, let me give him a shout out, and let's go.
I agree. My first instinct when I saw it was he's trying to show
Yeah.
I did something that was good for Trump. And then maybe later this week, he's going to say, and I did something that was good for Trump's prosecutor by keeping
Right.
Fani Willis on the case. I think we can probably glean he's definitely not going to grant the motion to dismiss this case entirely because of Fani's alleged conflict, because
No,
why
that's
else would
right.
he be
That's the
reducing
right
6
decision.
counts from it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
okay,
right
so that's
decision.
not-
I don't think
the
you
case is
dismiss
not
this
gonna go
whole
away.
case. Yeah.
All right, so that's that. Here's another thing that we found this soundbite from the judge speaking with the local radio station last week. And he was being asked, Alan, about his new left-wing challenger to his judge seat, which he's now got to run for re-election on. He was unchallenged. And then at the last minute, this guy who's from the Rainbow Push Jesse Jackson coalition throws his hat in the ring, and he's now challenging him from the left. And he was asked about that and how, if at all, it might weigh on his decision over Fani. And here's what he said.
I had a rough draft and an outline before I ever heard a rumor that someone wanted to run for this position. So the result is not going to change because of politics. I am calling it as best I can in the law as I understand it.
Okay,
Yeah.
now my very smart law school friend who listens to the show every day, she's a lawyer like you and I are,
Oh, no.
and
Sorry.
she says she thinks from that, and I think she's got a good point, the only reason he would remind us that he had drafted a decision before he got the challenge from the left would be if he's about to rule that Fani can stay on the case. Because he wouldn't need to reassure us that he had drafted anything to, deal with a competitor if it was going to be against Fani, right? Like,
I agree.
he wouldn't
I
draft
agree.
an opinion getting rid of Fani in order to appease the left. So I think she might be onto something there, that statement may have telegraphed he's about to rule in favor of Fani Willis staying on the case. What do you think?
I agree.
Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I got to back that back up. I do want to hear. I don't get man, these people, I love this because they are taking something that you and I heard and they completely understand it differently. That is crazy. I just love that. Okay, let's listen to this again. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
now my very smart law school friend who listens to the show every day, she's a lawyer like you and I are, and she says she thinks from that, and I think she's got a good point, the only reason he would remind us that he had drafted a decision before he got the challenge from the left would be if he's about to rule that Fani can stay on the case. Because he wouldn't need to reassure us that he had drafted anything to, deal with a competitor if it was going to be against Fani, right? Like,
I agree.
he wouldn't
I
draft
agree.
an opinion getting rid of Fani in order to appease the left. So I think she might be onto something there, that statement may have telegraphed he's about to rule in favor of Fani Willis staying on the case. What do you think?
I agree with that. I think all the signs point in that direction, and all the law and the facts point in the opposite direction.
Wow.
But I don't think this judge is going to do justice in this case. I think he is going to figure out a way of not having her disqualified. Look, the worst
What
thing that
about
ever
Nathan
happened
Wade,
to her-
though? What about Nathan? Yeah, I know you won't go as far as say
Well-
Fani in the office, but what about Nathan Wade?
That's easy. He could say, look, the appearance of justice, I recommend strongly that he be taken off the case so that the appearance of injustice disappears. That would be an easy call for him, but would have no impact on the case. Look, the worst thing that ever happened to American judicial system election of judges, election of prosecutors. We're the only country in the world, in the Western world, that elects judges and prosecutors. And the politics obviously play a role in all of these decisions. So, but I agree with your friend. I think she's very insightful that that statement suggests that he is not going to rule in favor of Donald Trump on the disqualification. Again, that's my judgment. I don't have enough to make a firm prediction, but I hope he rules the other way. But I often predict against my own wishes, so that's my prediction.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's get ahead of ourselves a bit and say he keeps her on the case, irrespective of what happens with Nathan Wade. That he keeps Fani Willis on the case. What happens as a realistic matter in now her prosecution against Donald Trump and these defendants, now that the whole nation has had quite an introduction to this woman and her ethical bar?
Well, first of all, it becomes a big appellate issue. Second of all, good trial lawyers could try to figure out a way of getting her credibility somehow in front of the jury. It's not an easy thing to do, but the American public does not believe Fani Willis. They don't believe she's a truth teller. And if I'm a defense attorney, I try to take as much advantage of that in every single context, both the trial and on appeal. So she's become a big issue now in this case. If she had been smart, she just would have recused herself, not the office, just recused herself and recused him and said, this is bigger than both of us. Let's get on with this. But she has an enormous ego. The fact that she volunteered the testimony and bolted into the courtroom and began to tell what I regard as lie after lie after lie shows, I think, what kind of a person she is. And I would not be proud of that.
Wow.
Financial experts thought we were in the clear. They were anticipating.
All right. Hold on one second. Why is this still playing? There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. I understand what Alan Dershowitz says. It's just funny because it seems like I'm understanding the data differently. What I saw, for example, with the 6 charges being thrown out, I saw that as a sign to make it sweeter for somebody else to pick it up because they're about to be just kicked off the case. And again, I'm crazy. And then the whole thing about drafting, I didn't understand what they were trying to say. So because he drafted a decision, that was a sign to the pro-Trump people that he was going to keep them, but lessen the amount of charges that they had. I didn't understand how they came to that. Like, that's kind of, I'm not going to argue that it's wrong, because I mean, they definitely are smarter than I am. I am a pre-K law student, but it just seemed like that doesn't make sense. No, okay, let me see, because there's a lot of conversation here. Okay. All right, let's see right here. Start with Rebecca. Okay. Megyn Kelly was a lawyer before her journalism career, and he is obviously one of these are lawyer minds knowing the world and the connections. I can get with that. Absolutely. They even think he's going to chump out. See, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being, you know what? Maybe I am trying to hope against hope. Maybe I'm looking at the data just like, like the Powerball example. Maybe I just want it to be something that is not. Maybe I'm making it up. Continue. But because of the obvious corruption, perjury, etc., I want to believe my mind won't be blown and he will do the right thing. I just can't imagine what happens to America if he doesn't. I'm with you. I mean, to me, it seems like I just believe that he understands that there's more riding on this than just whether or not he gets reelected. Because, I mean, keep in mind, if he loses, he will be the darling of any Republican county. They'll absolutely want him to be. So it's not like he'll lose it. If he loses the election, what's it, in May. So let's say he rules against Trump and his competitors and his challengers really are able to get a foothold and really start pushing against him, and he ends up losing in May. Let me tell you, there's nowhere that he could not be able to go to continue. Like, I just don't see why that would be a bad thing. Now, granted, it's a larger district. They have a lot more money. Absolutely. But, hey, they don't want you. That's fine. Come to Cobb. Go to somewhere else. I just don't see why, in my opinion. All right. She has no integrity. That much she's proved herself. Yeah, I'm like, I just don't see, in my mind, the bigger picture is the justice system, and this woman is not one that's going to, it would be akin to a painter, an artist having several different paintbrushes. And sure, this might have been the paintbrush that you really, really anticipated using, but it is the paint is dried on it, or the bristles are broken, or whatever. You can't use it and create a masterpiece with this paintbrush. It doesn't matter. The paintbrush itself is marred. You're not going to be able to create a masterpiece if that's what you wanted to do. So you have to get a different paintbrush. You're going to, because you're not going to be able to get this wonderful picture that you envision in your mind onto the canvas if you don't get a better paintbrush or a different paintbrush. All right, I believe he produced. What am I saying? I see some. I don't understand their logic. Thank you, real time. I don't. And again, they're both attorneys, so maybe they have a deeper thought than I do. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get, because to me, the I can I'll give you the grace that the 6 charges being thrown out, maybe that was like a signal of a peace offering. I can kind of see that. I can work with that. I can see where they came from. But the idea that his drafting of a decision meant that he was already going to vote in favor, I mean, decide in favor of Fannie, I just don't get where it came from. I don't get it. And yeah, I don't get it. What's going on, Latanya from Colorado? Good to see you. Grace and peace. He mentioned that he drafted his decision and was not due to pressure, so the decision appears to be not to disqualify. Why are you saying that, though? That's what I don't get. Why could the decision not be to, because he was saying it in the context of a challenger to his judgeship. So he's saying like, hey, I've already drafted my decision, and I didn't draft it because I didn't draft this way in response to the fact that I have a competitor. I already have my decision done or made. Why would he be mentioning that? Because he's trying to show that I'm not being challenged. My challenger is not the one that dictated what I wrote. That's what I understood. Very much so. Hey, but we're having fun. You got to admit, just your average man. You got to admit, though. You got to admit, it is kind of fun. No, Montag 451. It's not even about pro-Trump. It's about fundamental justice and integrity of the court. I agree 100%. 100%. I only use the pro-Trump argument because I want people to like put that aside and to think about what you're talking about, because I do think that you are correct. Oh, shout out. Did you notice Megyn Kelly has the same microphone as Dear Woke Christian? What do you know about that? A lot of state courts. Absolutely, Rebecca. I got you. No, I totally understand. I totally understand. Crime rates will naturally go up because of this ruling. I'm going to challenge that crime rates have already been going up because of Fani Willis. How about that? A decision that is pre-drafted prior to having a competitor will help him in current election as long as that decision is not to disqualify. Hard to explain in text. a decision that is okay. Hear me, man. Hear me, bro. Let me tell you right now. Let me tell you something, my friend. We are all going to be on pins and needles tomorrow. I might stay up all night just drafting, just editing videos for my business, just so I can keep my mind, because I can imagine it's going to be crazy tomorrow. I understand your point. So, yeah, I got you. I'm just trying to process it. Let's see what Colorado, Latanya from Colorado says. She says, I actually believe he will disqualify the DA and her whole office. I don't see how he cannot. The corruption is so blatant and obvious. I know he's not blind. He sees what's going on. I'm trying to, I could have wrote this. I would have written this. I mean, this is exactly what I would have wrote. And I'm trying to understand. My desire is to understand the other side of the argument, because I want to make sure that I'm being fair and not just being, well, this is what I think, so this is what it is. Because I realize that, sure, like he might ruin all of our days. He might just fire Nathan and keep Fani, but say that it has to move to another district. He might completely ruin all of us and have 100% people mad. So, yeah, I can totally see it. I mean, I'm trying to understand Chris, and I'm not trying to be cantankerous, because I really do. Let me say this one more time. First of all, my name is Jason, and I'm a pre-K law student, okay? I've never been in law school. I know nothing about law. So I appreciate you all in this. And I'm learning that these kind of conversations help me to look at things from different angles, different perspectives. So I just got to process it. I can understand what Chris is saying. So there's definitely no no argument, if you will. Boom, boom. He did say it. He did say he's speculating. That's true. Yes, absolutely. Romans is a letter about faith. And I was reading Romans chapter 1 because we were looking at some women that were supporting Fani Willis. And I just want to talk about how they're giving hearty approval to her sinful lifestyle. Do y'all really think he already has it drafted? I see no reason why not. But, hey, I didn't realize that he was doing all this other work either. So I'm not surprised. No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I am not an attorney. I only play one on the internet. My credentials are that I've seen every episode, every season of Law and Order and Law and Order Special Victim Unit. And I did forget, I also watched Criminal Intent as well. And they used to have an episode. They had a series they tried called Trial by Jury. Me and my wife watched that as well. So, that's the extent of my legal background. No, I'm just a Christian content creator. Julie, I'm just a Christian content creator that likes to talk about social issues. And this story, it captivated me because I live here in Georgia, just north of Fulton County, and just wanted to talk about it. So been talking about it with you all and having a good time. So, but no, I've never been to law school. That's why I keep saying I've been in pre-K law school. I have no legal knowledge whatsoever. Matter of fact, I hear my family watching Law and Order right now. That has got to be the comical thing. They're literally listening to it. I just heard the dun dun. That's crazy. He's bluffing to the max? Really? You think the judges? Really? Okay. Okay. The corruption is so obvious, but never underestimate the power of politics overdoing what is right. What's right? Okay. I suppose a challenger is a clear intimidation tactic. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if he had already written his decision, he's saying that he's not moved by the fact that he has a challenger. That's how I interpret it. And it's kind of cool to hear Megan and Alan's interpretation of it, because I interpreted it as, I already wrote my decision, so it doesn't matter that that there's a competitor, because the competitor's not going to change what I've already written. That's how I interpreted it. But I mean, I could be wrong. Like, that's the wonderful thing about this. Yeah, we are in some new waters. Just your average man says this is not about pro-Trump. However, the entire case is based on novel legal theories never tried in the courts before. I mean, that is true. I do see it. See, Mary sees what I'm seeing. And maybe again, I could be crazy. I'm a crazy wackadoodle. Okay. Pre-K law school. Yeah, I felt like he was clearing up the charges to send it on, and heard they gave 6 months to trench it. I don't know what you're saying. And they gave 6 months to tracheus it, when one person said that it was unusual. So I agree that it made sense to me that there was 22 charges, and he said, 6 of these are crazy. 6 of these are not founded well. You got to get out of here. Get these out of here. So either A, you can try to go back and get those 6 and get the 22, have the whole 22, or just take what you get and not pitch a fit. But you're going to be out of here. So then that would be more appropriate for them now to take that to another county, another DA's office, and for them to look at some solid answers. Because if they had the whole 22, they would have thrown it out quick, because they saw those 6 that weren't good. So he's at least giving them a chance, and it's going to get, that's what I'm thinking. Come on. This is it right here. This is the quote of the day. Fani is bringing people together. I mean, this is a global story. That is the craziest thing. We are really sitting here having a conversation about a story that's happening in a offshoot of Metro Atlanta. We got people in California, people in New York, people in Illinois, people in Australia, India, for crying out loud. Just on this live stream alone, we're not talking about the countless other places that other people are interacting with. This is crazy. This is crazy. All I'm going to say is make sure you have your popcorn tomorrow, though. What's going on, Discernment Files? Good to see you. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's hard for me to. Now, I'm trying to be respectful, because I realize that Megyn Kelly and what's his name, Alan Dershowitz, they are both attorneys, and they know way more than me. Unlike me, I'm just a pre-K law student, okay? I've never been to law school. I just watch Law and Order. However, some of this just seems like, wait, you mean to tell me they sat there and lied on the stand and that's not going to matter? You mean to tell me that Terrence Bradley literally said what he said, but you're going to throw that out? So that's what I'm like, I don't get it. But I know one thing. We all going to get baptized by fire tomorrow. That's for sure. One way or another. we gonna all get learned tomorrow. Oh no, I'm telling you right now. I mean, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I mean, if it would be, I'm gonna probably be here tomorrow. Yeah, because my business partner's out of town, so my producer's out of town, and Taylor doesn't know how to populate the comments on the screen yet. I could teach her. We should go over there tonight, and I should teach her how to do it. Because it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be, look, I'm gonna probably do it here, and I can manage it myself. See, this is another thing Jackie Robinson asked. Would her other prosecutions be questioned? I think the letter from the Senate Judiciary Committee kind of gave that air that they need, that might end up being the case. So yeah, it's definitely coming. Yeah, that's what swag is. Create with Cindy. Probably gift bags and Yetis with the embossment on them, and tchotchkes and stress balls, stuff like that. I don't have any kind of swag on my desk. I got a sticker. Got my Dear Will Christian sticker on my microphone. See that? There we go. That's about as much swag as I got here. But yeah, that's probably what they're referring to. Just that useless stuff that you get at conferences and workshops. That's what come on. Put it in layman terms. Court procedures are pretty much common sense. It's just in Latin. That's what I understand it as. I mean, to me, it seems pretty straightforward. But I mean, again, we just watched, if you were coming in late, we just watched Megan Kelly and Alan Dershowitz discuss it. Let me put that link in the videos in the chat so y'all can have it as well. Here it is real quick. It was insightful because I just to hear two attorneys or people who definitely have more legal experience than we do, it makes sense. I totally get what they're saying. It just doesn't seem to make common sense. I can understand what they're saying, just didn't seem to make good sense. So I thought this earlier today, but I didn't want to joke about it because I don't bet and I make jokes about betting a lot and people get offended by it. But I do wonder. I totally believe that. I 100% believe that they are betting on this. Oh my gosh. I totally believe it. Totally believe it. I hate it because there are bets on all kinds of things, and I guarantee there's one on this. Okay, so Latanya says, I scoured the Fulton County website, but don't see any information on the decision tomorrow. Do you know what time, dear Woke? If they actually meet in the courtroom, I'll be down there. Okay, how I understand it, because that's a good question. How I understand it is that it's just going to be released and reported. But I don't think it has to be like read out loud. But I mean, that's what I was told. But again, don't trust me. Trust but verify. So, okay, if it were going to be, if they knew that it had to be, on a docket or on a website, Latanya from Colorado, I feel like everybody would already know. Like if it was posted tonight on the website, everybody would be like clamoring because it's going to be like that crazy. So, and I heard nobody say that they were looking at the website and they didn't see it on there on Wednesday or they didn't see it on there on Thursday. So to me, it seems like it's going to be a matter of him just either reporting it or reading it out or pushing it out, publishing it. That's what I'm understanding it, but I could be wrong. So if anybody knows, please, I'm a pre-K law student. See, Chris, we torn together, brother. We are torn together. We are torn. We are torn together, brother. We are torn asunder. Chris just says he did say that he wants his kids to be proud of him. That's definitely leaning away from Fani. I'm torn. I'm with you. I totally get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. Hilarious too. The spiritual man judges all things, but he himself is not subject to anyone's judgment. Come on. Very good. Thank you. These people talk about what they're going to wear tomorrow. Wait, that's what I'm wearing tomorrow. Mainly to take my wife off. What are you wearing? Okay, wait. Hold on. I missed something. What are you wearing tomorrow? Oh, wait. Oh, get your tinfoil hats and your popcorn? Oh, yes, for sure. Oh, my gosh. Yo, the betting one right there, though, that has to be the comment of the day. That has to be the comment of the day. I know somebody else was supposed to be the comment of the day, but that right there is the comment of the day because you know it. You just know it. Oh my gosh. I kind of want to know. Like, I don't want to, if anybody's familiar with gambling sites, I would love for somebody to find out, are they actually betting on this? And you can email it to me just for laughs. Like, yo, I looked on, whatever the betting sites are, and this is what it's going at. I would love to just see it. I just would love to know, like, are they actually betting on this? Because I do believe they are. Oh, there it is, Montag. Yeah, this is the comment of the day. Because you know it's happening, man. You know it. They bet on everything. So they got to be betting on that. That is so funny. That is so funny. All right. Yeah, I don't. Wait. Did I miss something? Q, did you say something about? Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was. I heard it from somewhere else too. Yeah, I don't think there's like a formal reading. That would be wild. Oh, that would be wild. Oh my gosh. Okay. From my understanding, listening to the lead attorney, attorneys are not as morally upstanding as we like them to be. They might be professional, they might have good decorum, they might wear really nice suits and such like that, but they're not different than anybody else. They bet, they do illicit activities. They're just humans. They just all it is they actually went to law school. So they're just like me, just a sinner, but I only went to pre-K law school. They went to real formal law school. So that's the difference. But so to answer your question, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. And they're probably arguing about it just like we are. And they actually know what they're talking about. Alabama doesn't allow bets. So I'm talking about like those betting sites, like not like river boats or local gambling, but like on those betting sites. I'm just wondering, do they, is there a bet for the Fani Willis case? That's going to be, oh my gosh, that would be so crazy. My pleasure. My pleasure. This is going to be bananas tomorrow. That's all I got to say. I have no idea how to say it differently than it is going to be crazy. Okay, let's see. And not to mention, we have public records from the White House about her lying. Like, you know what? That's true too. Good point. Good point. Those are reasons why, in my mind, as I forgot who said it. It just seems like common sense that she would be disqualified and Nathan would be kicked off the case. It just seems like common sense to me. Now, again, all the legal wrangling and you add a dash of a heavy dose of Latin and then things change. But it just seems to make sense to me. But I think her mom, somebody asked about her mom. I don't think her mom is still alive. I might be wrong. I don't think her mom is alive, but I could be wrong. But you know, I didn't even need her dad. Truth be told, they didn't need to bring her dad into it. That was her fault. You're right. I totally forgot about that. Your average man says, you have to remember this is the same case. They released the indictment before the grand jury was even in deliberations. That is true. I do remember that. Oh my gosh. Mercy, good to see you. Grace and peace. Wait, it's 6 a.m.? Where are you? Where are you, Mercy? I'm sorry. Um, I would assume that he probably voted for him. I would assume that. Oh, wait, it will be electronically filed. Really? Y'all are wild. You all mean business. Are you gonna cop a copy of it and send it to Dear World Christian? Are you coming to Marietta to read it at podium with me? We can read it together. I'm perfectly fine with that. Mercy said tomorrow is today. Where are you? So wait, tomorrow is today. So that means you're and it's 6 a.m. That's somewhere like Australia. Is that India? Where is it 6 a.m. right now? Where is it 6 a.m. right at this exact moment? Um, that was probably not the best question to ask Google because it did not help me. All right, let's go. I think Mercy will tell me where she is. Oh, really? Look, if y'all find it out, hey, I will be up in here in my little sleep cap and my little eye mask trying to read that thing. Yes, I will. Poor lawyers. Want to go to the law school Fanny went to. Look, they probably looking real sad about that. They're probably like, yo, this is our alumni. But where are you, Mercy? Mercy P, where are you? I don't think that the judge will dismiss Fanny. I think he will leave it to the AG and beyond. Wish I had more faith. Okay. I can understand it. Look, you all have shown me different perspectives as it relates to this argument. So I'm not mad about it. I just don't. To me, Fanny's transgressions were the most egregious. Like if a if a if a plane has a very bad mishap and it's totally egregious, they look at the president, and a lot of the time they want the president of the company to step down. Even though he wasn't flying the plane, he didn't inflate the tires on the plane, he did nothing with that plane. But if it's bad enough, a lot of the time, the president of a company, the face, the figurehead, has to step down because he or she was so involved, because this whatever happened was so tragic. Fanny actually hired Nathan. She was the one that was doing the lying. She was the one that was funneling the money, mishandling the money. To me, she would need to step down for that or be made to step down. To me, it just seems straightforward, but I mean, we're going to find out soon enough. Yeah, I mean, she straight up lied that she was never at the White House. For that matter, she is on the White House visitor logs. They are real documents. There you go. I mean, I don't see where else. Mercy, you're in London. You're in the UK, correct? I did find it. It did show up. And it's Friday there, by the way. I mean, that's just a lie. Like, I don't know what, to me, I don't understand why we have to, fisticuff about it. She lied. It's a lie. All right, what do we got? All right, let's see. Montag. In reference to the novel and film Fahrenheit 451, the temperature in which paper burns in a society where books are banned, Montag and the regrettable fireman who fails to comply. Oh, that's it. Okay, I got you. I see what you did there. I actually have never read that book. No, I've never read that one. All right. All right. Let me see what we got here. Come on now. I'm sure Capitol Hill is betting. Imagine Biden, Pelosi, Hunter Biden is running the bets, holding the money. They're paying in cash though. That it. They're paying in cash. They're betting in cash. Cash app. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, the only problem is Mercy, even though she's in tomorrow and we're still in yesterday, she still has to wait for our today to become her today in order to participate in this shenanigans. I hope that was very confusing because it was confusing to me. So even though she's in the UK, she's still got to wait for us. So she got to be patient. Oh my gosh, please let it be early, please. I hope the judge throws the book at Fanny and throws her in jail for 366 days and max sentence for perjury. Okay. I'm sorry. Thought to pull it up. I agree. Latanya says, Dear Woke, I'm not sure if I'll pay for the Fulton County already owes me tax money from this debacle. However, I'm just saying, if I do get it, I'll email the documents to you. Not a problem at all. Man, that's gonna be wild. That's gonna be wild. Absolutely crazy. Okay, so I think we all shout out to Chris because you ruined everybody's evening with the Megyn Kelly and Alan Dershowitz article. I think it's made us all sad, a little bit sad in the heart. But I'm gonna hold out, man. I'm holding out faith. Dear Will Christian, it's only 2:30 a.m. in England right now. So wait, where's Mercy? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, I'm in Asia. There we go. I'm in Asia. Oh, I'm sorry. I pulled up a world clock and it had all the different places and the times, and I saw 6 o'clock and I thought it said 6 o'clock in London. I'm in Asia. I'm moving back to the States in 2 weeks. Had a long hiatus, moving to Kentucky. Gonna work at Answers in Genesis. Wow. Fun fact, my daughter is going to her 8th grade. The senior 8th grade trip, the 8th grade trip is going to Kentucky, going to there in about 3 weeks. That's hilarious. It's on the 28th. They're gonna be there, yeah. That's crazy. They paying in crypto. No, she carries cash, man. Cash, only cash. Yeah, that's gonna be, it's gonna be so crazy. Okay, let's see. All right, good people, good folk. Thank y'all so much. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for checking out. I did drop that article that I read earlier, and it's still right here about women that support Fani Willis. If you didn't get a chance to see it, I'll put it in the description as well when we get done. I just dropped the link down there just if you want to check it out. It was kind of poorly thought out article articulating why they shouldn't be picking on Fani because Fani's a great Black woman. But also we looked at the Megyn Kelly. We looked at the subpoena from the Congressional Judiciary Committee. Oversight Committee is crazy. It's so much. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be a wild day. What's going on? We watch YouTube. How are you? Grace and peace. I'm literally wrapping up, but I appreciate you stopping by. No doubt, no question. Thank you so much for stopping by. But and then I did start it all off by pointing out how in Romans chapter 1, it talks about those people who give hearty approval to those who commit and do gross and atrocious things. So I wanted to point out here that these young ladies right here in that article that I just dropped, they don't represent all Black women. They don't represent all women. They themselves have chosen to side with somebody who's doing immoral things. And that's not our fault. Nobody else has to duck and cover for that. That's on them. So I just thought it was interesting. I'm glad that somebody posted it to me, and hopefully you had a chance to check it out. In the United States Attorney, we give them dollar amounts. Oh, Wade's salary is right in line. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, but he only worked a year and a half though. But hey, that's fine. I guess. He seems to have still made more than Fannie made, but divided by 3, where are you getting average salary? So 625, 650 divided by 3. But he made that money. He didn't divide it by 3. It was just his. And he was only on the job. It's only been a year and a half. So it still would have been like $300,000. So it still would have been a gross amount. But hey, I'm not here to argue it. That's on them. I don't make that much, period, man. So, it is what it is. I'd be happy to get, the taxes on it. I'd be happy to get part of it. So it is what it is. But everybody, thank you so much. I do wanted to say again that you all coming to this lives and talking and adding to the commentary and conversing back and forth and giving the likes and all that kind of stuff, it means a lot because I understand that your time is valuable. And I really do appreciate all of you. So thank you so much. As soon, I already have the thumbnail ready. I already got the live stream planned. All I got to do is add the time. So as soon as I know what time it is, I'll be doing this planning this live stream. So if it's tomorrow, yeah. So if it's 5 o'clock, if he drops it at 5 o'clock, I know I'm gonna be going live at 7. If he drops it at noon, I might be telling my kids to call an Uber. But if it comes out sooner than that, I do want to take some time to actually read it. So I'm not gonna be rambunctious. But so no matter what, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, we'll be doing this again on tomorrow. And man, think about it. We're gonna still be doing this well into the end of the year because there's so much to do. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for the interaction. Thank you so much for the engagement, chit chatting back and forth. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care. See you real soon.